I'm Kenny from Pro Tool Reviews. Now, self-feed bits haven't evolved as quickly as other types of bits have. A few years ago, we saw Irwin come out with a 3-cutter design, and more recently, Milwaukee has a replaceable blade with their SwitchBlade. Now, Diablo's got their SpeedDemon, a 2-cutter design, and they're specifically targeting cordless drills with this one, and they've made some bold claims. If you're new to Pro Tool Reviews and you like what you see, hit that subscribe button to help us keep bringing you more videos like this. If you don't, let us know why. We're always looking for better ways to improve. Now, with these Diablo self-feed bits, what we see is a totally different design. The single cutter on these with a single exit point is now replaced with 2 cutters, and there's an ejection point next to both. Notice the feed tip on these is pretty aggressive. It's designed to grab a hold of those softwoods better than others. It's also replaceable, and Diablo includes a hex wrench and a spare in each kit. Diablo says these bits are up to twice as fast as regular self-feed bits and can give you up to twice the holes in one charge. Now, right away, we could see that there's both an opportunity and a challenge here. With 2 cutter heads, your drill's going to have to work harder to keep those moving, but if it can, it should be faster. For most rough-in jobs, you're going to have a whole hog style right-angle drill to work with, and that's where these bits thrive. So to compare, we took the 2 9/16 inch size from Diablo and compared it to Milwaukee's SwitchBlade and the same size from WoodOwl to see what kind of speeds we could get. Our M18 Fuel Super Whole Hog had no problem with any of these bits going through 2 studs at a time. Now, Diablo was clearly faster in these tests, needing 6.2 seconds and beating the other two by about 1.5 seconds. There's an even greater difference when you kick it into low gear and trade off some speed for wood-chewing torque. Diablo needed 12.3 seconds to make that same hole, while WoodOwl took 17 seconds and Milwaukee needed 18.5. We also wanted to see how these bits perform with a standard pistol grip drill. Now, you don't use these as often on rough ends as you do with a whole hog style, but they do see some use, and Diablo doesn't discount them. So we took the 1.5 inch size and the 2 9/16 inch sizes to see how they do. This turned out to be a really interesting test. Our Metabo HPT multi-volt drill was able to use all 3 1.5 inch bits with no problem whatsoever. Now, Milwaukee and WoodOwl we could use in high speed, but the Diablo with its 2-cutter design kept binding right at tear out. Low speed is where we really expect to use these bits though, and that's where Diablo shined. It needed 6.3 seconds to make the hole, while WoodOwl needed 9.4 seconds and Milwaukee needed 9.2, giving it a clear speed advantage. The 2 9/16 inch bits provided a bit more drama. There was more stalling across the board with all 3 brands, but we did have more successes than we did failures, and in those, Diablo was about 1 second faster in every single test. There were a couple of things that stood out to us during the course of our testing. First of all, we noticed that Diablo's 2-cutter design isn't as efficient as the single-cutter designs when it comes to clearing the chips. We had to play the game of clear the chips and keep going a couple of times while we're doing this. Now, you're going to notice that most when you're drilling down. When you're drilling into the side of a stud, it's not as big of a deal, and certainly not a big deal at all when you're drilling up overhead. When you're drilling into single studs, this isn't an issue you're going to run into at all. It's only something you're going to occasionally come across when you're drilling into doubles or thicker. When we were testing with our standard pistol grip drills, it was clear that they had to work harder using Diablo's 2-cutter design than the single cutters. In fact, when we were doing the 2 9/16 inch testing, many of our drills weren't able to cut through with Diablo's where it could make it with the single cutters. So if you're using a standard drill, be sure to check your manual and see what the capacity is for wood drilling. Now, in general, if you're on the heavy duty side, Diablo's 2-inch bits and less are going to be just fine, and some of them are going to be able to handle that 2 9/16 inch size. Realistically, a whole hog style right angle drill is the right tool to use on your rough end jobs, and in that, you're definitely going to see faster times with Diablo. Now, is it going to be twice as fast and give you twice as many holes per charge? Well, possibly using the cheapest bits, but even using quality bits like we've been to compare them, you're still going to see some significant performance gains. You can pick up Diablo SPEEDemon self-feed bits in 9 sizes from 1 1/8 inch all the way up to 3 5/8 inches, and the prices range from $35.99 up to $139.99. Now, if you have any other questions about these, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and as always, thanks for watching.
Hey, help us out by subscribing to the channel below and tap that bell to get notified when we post new tool reviews and shootouts. And as always, thanks for watching.